Hello YouTube, it is me, Raina, and I'm back. And I'm here to talk about the current Spider-Man news as we're going on around the internet, as I want to give my 2 cents, my opinion on this whole entire thing. If you haven't read up on what's happening, basically, the relationship between Sony and Disney when it comes to Spider-Man as a character, as of for now, the negotiation has kind of broken down, which means that there's a high chance that Spider-Man may go back to Sony permanently. Now, if you did not know, Disney and Sony have always shared the character. When it was first revealed that Spider-Man was going to come back home, the press release did say that, yes, Spider-Man is going to appear in the MCU and be around MCU characters, but Sony still owned a part of the character. They were going to do the promotion and everything like that while he'll be in the MCU, which was great. But there was still a partnership there, so they both shared the character. He was never fully in the MCU. That was always the deal they had. So now, after the success of Far From Home reaching $1 billion, and also the success of Tom Holland, I guess Sony did not want to budge when Marvel approached them to kind of up their percentage. Now, some people may say that, they're upping their percentage might be too much. I could understand, but considering the success they were able to do, now mind you, when it comes to Tom Holland's version of the character, this is the third time this character has been rebooted in live action. Also, we remember the Sam Raimi ones with Tobey Maguire, Mark Webb, Andrew Garfield, and now we got Tom Holland with John Watts. And, I remember when this was first announced that when Marvel got Spider-Man back early 2015, people were like, oh no, here we go again. We're going to see Uncle Ben die. We're going to do the whole entire thing. No, Marvel had the MCU had a great way of integrating their version of the character into the story that will fit the MCU. We had him first in Civil War, how he was introduced there, and everything like that. Now, I know the biggest criticism of Tom Holland's version of the character is that, he relied too much on Iron Man. There's, all the trappings of the character is not there. I disagree. I feel like we're still at the beginning of his story, and we have not seen the full arc of the character. And now I'm afraid that's in danger because now he's back at Sony. That means they can't really reference what happened. Even though Far From Home was so integral on basically exploring the future of the MCU post-snap and what that means for the world and all that stuff, it's just really confusing. I'm not sure why they chose this time now to have negotiations, considering, the state of the universe, but I'm not in those rooms, obviously. Like I said, if I had my perfect world, Marvel would own the MCU. Disney will own all of Spider-Man. Like they own Fantastic Four and X-Men. And if Sony is using this as like, they've won their Oscar. Of course, Into the Spider-Verse is a great, fantastic movie, and they deserve that Oscar, and Venom did good for what it was, I guess. It's still, just because they had those pluses doesn't mean that's going to last for a long periodic time, because they don't have a good track record when it comes to rebooting this character in live action. People may be a fan of the Andrew Garfield movies. I like the second one probably a bit better than the first, but still is not good enough in my opinion. I just hope and pray. I know there are different departments, Sony Animation and the studio. I hope if this breaks down even further and is confirmed that, Tom Holland is not going to be in the MCU or whatever, I hope they take inspiration from Into the Spider-Verse and apply that to whatever Spider-Man movie they're going to do for this. Whatever. I just want Tom Holland to be Spider-Man. I want Zendaya to be MJ. If this, like I said, if it breaks down any further, they cannot, I repeat, they cannot reboot this. It's impossible. It'll be redundant at this point. And you may be saying, but Raina, what about Batman? Batman has been rebooted, yes, but there's been large gaps. I mean, the shortest one has been between Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson, but that's a whole different situation. To me, with this character, he's had movie after movie, franchise after franchise, and it gets tiring. And it's the same character, Peter Parker. We've been through the same story, and nothing is wrong with the character. Obviously, that's why we keep coming back in love with this character. But it gets tiring after a while, seeing the same thing over and over again. And that's why putting him in the MCU and the way they characterize his character and the storyline and the character arc they were going on is so different, but so true to the character. I was so interested because I did not know what was going to come next. It was unpredictable. But this is just my opinion on the whole entire thing. It's very heartbreaking. I hope to God they don't try to reboot it, because I feel like with the most recent movie, they're really kicking off into Peter Parker coming into his own. Now he's getting older and growing up and coming out on his own 2 feet. And I just putting him in Sony just for a Venom face-off or whatever they're going to do with this character, I just do not know. I think Sony is making a huge mistake on not willing to budge with Marvel. Now, granted, we're not seeing the whole picture on what, either Disney negotiated or what Sony said either yes or no to when they negotiated. It depends, considering everything. So, what are your opinions on this? Are you unhappy about Spider-Man possibly not being in the MCU? Leave your comments down below, and bye, YouTube.